okay, what's up? Okay.
Let's do a good one. Okay.
What's up, brother?
Yeah.
How you
What's
doing?
up? How are you?
Hey, hey, what's going on? All right, all right, look, this is what we gonna do. So
Already know.
this is what I'll do, man. We get on the live. Anybody
Yeah.
that wanna hop on, tell me your name. I see it. Tell me your Instagram and tell me what you driving, what you doing. Tell us
My
what
name
you got.
is Mike. I'm from the LoadedJackal. I drive a DD15 Expedite.
Okay.
Yeah, and I run all over the country. Like
Okay.
right now, I got a military load. I'm headed from Mississippi, and I'm headed to Air Force Base in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you an owner operator?
Yeah.
Or a company?
Yeah, I own this bitch. Yeah. But I hear you was talking, and you're right about a lot of the things you say, because if you like me, I own this truck outright. I got it dirt cheap from a friend of mine, and I own it. So even when it's bad, I still make a profit. But a lot of the other guys, they really don't. They just working to be paying the bills when shit is bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So I heard you say that. That's true.
Yeah, the best thing, man, is like, owning your own equipment, especially own it outright. You don't really have a high, we always talk about the CPM. That's what we always talk about.
Right.
So your CPM is a lot lower because you don't have a trucking payment. You're not paying.
Right. I ain't got shit. I just do insurance and that's it.
Right.
I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long have you had that truck?
This truck, a year, right? But before that, I was just running box trucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was a box truck junkie. Listen, I done ran like 4 box trucks in the ground, bro.
Yeah.
I was living in the front seat. I went through a fucked up breakup and shit, and I was just like, yo, I'm gonna just go on the road and make money. I used to own a gym in New York, and I sold the gym, liquidated, bought an International, the most fucked up truck you could find. And listen, I was running that bitch over the hills of California.
And going, right?
Listen, I was loading that bitch up, man, to the point where the truck could barely move, bro.
Right.
I ran that in the ground, bought another one, until I came up on this truck. You know what I mean?
Can you hear us? I can hear you now.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
No, but you made a good point though, and I think a lot of people don't understand this. Is like when you get into this business, like you said, in the box truck, you running,
right?
You going,
yeah.
And then you sleeping in the front seat, saving money.
Yep.
It's when you especially start in this industry, as you know, we all been through there. It's not glorious in the beginning. You got to put, you got to put in work. You got to be willing to put the work. You
gotta be a soldier, pretty much. You gotta be a soldier.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta be a soldier.
Right. You gotta be a soldier. You gotta have a mentality, and the money will come. But the mentality of being a soldier, man, that's what it is, and I think that's what is lacking in a lot of this industry, man. Right. There's not enough soldiers out there.
Yeah.
Me and Alonzo, we talked about that, man. It's just not enough soldiers out there who want to work and willing to do those things. You know, you can make money in the industry. We never say you can't make money.
Right.
But you got to have that work ethic to make that money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you could like I say, just rough it out for maybe say a year, save everything you make, right? By the end of that year, you should be able to like set yourself up to make real money out of trucking.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you gotta your discipline gotta be where it need to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what's been happening, man. Like, people get into this industry and thinking they should make 6 figures from the jump. And, but then want to be home every night.
Right.
And that doesn't equate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can make $100K in your first year, but you got to work your ass off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So your work ethic is going to, like I had a post that said, your work ethic is going to reflect your paycheck. You know what I'm saying? So how much work you put in is how much money you're going to get out.
100%. 100%.
But that's cool, man. That's cool. That's definitely cool, man. Welcome to the live, man. What else would you want to tell people in this industry? What are you seeing out there? What do you think should change?
Any suggestions?
Yeah, any suggestions?
Right. So I would suggest, I don't think we could change anything per se. I think that what we could do is the system that's already there.
You're breaking up. We can't hear you now. We can't hear you. Hold on.
So I probably called him.
Yeah. That's what
You could work within the system of how it's set up, and there's ways to move. I mainly drive at night. You know what I mean? Because at night you don't really have that much traffic. The police don't really fuck with you, and most of the way stations are closed.
Right.
You know what I mean? But in the daytime, you put yourself in the line of fire for these police to, like, you know, because you do have states where they fuck with you a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if you know that, okay, there's certain hazards like snow or whatever, take the longer way around instead of trying to brave going through it, fuck your truck up, set yourself back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I see a lot of dudes do. They take unnecessary risk that they don't have to take. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, I work within the system, man. I work at, you know, I mainly run at night. I sleep in the daytime, run at night. Usually it's a straight run. There's no traffic.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. And when you go to the, yeah. Go ahead, brother.
And because you drive during the night, you probably got better parking. You probably can park where you want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the times too, like when you go to the shipper, I feel everything goes smoother if you give everybody, it's a give it to give everybody respect, right? Because I see some dudes pull up and they come with an attitude. So now they get an attitude. You understand? But if you come and you give everybody respect, even when I see, like, you know, I pull up in places, I see that they don't really fuck with black people like that. Right? I still say what's up to them even when they don't say it back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm trying to do a job. I'm not here to, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about your personality and that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Load me up so I can put the money on my truck so I can get, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know what I mean? You just gotta, with the trucking, I think it's like, you gotta keep your eye on the business aspect of it. You know what I mean? Because you could get sidetracked real easy. You know, the truck stop, I see dudes fighting in the truck stop. I'm like, what the fuck you fighting for? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, man. That's, you know, it's just little things, you know. And stay away from them lot lizard. Don't fuck with no lot lizard, bro.
It ain't worth it.
Yeah, because you gotta think, I see some dirty dudes out here. If I don't want to go behind them dudes with nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to use the same pump they use.
And you know, to add what you're saying about nighttime driving, you just got me thinking, like, you know, when I was out on the road, I feel like those were the most safest drivers because the roads are empty really at night.
Right.
And you know, as an owner, you know, you can move how you want to move at nighttime, really.
Right.
You know, get the way stations, all that. Yeah,
and there's times when, you know, like maybe you fuck up and you maybe pass a exit, but you didn't really pass it, right? At night, the road is like more secluded or empty. You could reverse and just catch it. You know what I mean? When it's a daytime and traffic is going like that,
next exit.
It's too risky, man. Next exit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I was driving, I drove at night. I'm more comfortable driving at night just because it's less people.
Yeah.
My drivers that I have, we do a lot of night stuff.
Right.
It just makes more sense. You can move. You know, one of my drivers that I have now, he was like, I don't like driving during the night. I was like, hey man, to do what we gotta do, you gotta drive at night. Now he says, only one night load. I said, yeah, it's better at night. You know,
right.
You know, once you done with your shit,
it is, man. It is.
When you come into the truck stop, everybody leaving. So you can park wherever you want.
Eat what you want
for the free. You know what I'm saying?
Relax.
Yeah. So there's a lot of pros to night driving.
Yeah,
you know,
there's a lot of pros.
You gotta get used to it. You gotta get.
And sometimes I go straight there. Because, you know, sometimes your map will sometimes your map be off 5 miles, bro. And at night, sometimes if you get there at night, you could see where, okay, I'm supposed to be over here rather than here. In the daytime, that would be a bitch to navigate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes you pull up early and you can position yourself, you know what I mean? And you figure out your drop spot earlier. So in the morning, you know what I mean? You're in and you're out. You know what I mean? So
that's crazy, and that's why I don't understand why a lot more truck drivers. Well, I kind of do understand because the shipping location might not be open or whatever.
Right.
But I always feel like it's so much better for trucks to be out at night because when you out at night, like I said, it's just way less things you have to worry about.
Yeah.
And you get there faster, you get more miles under your belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just I feel like a lot more truckers do that. You should do that because you get a lot more miles.
And if I'm going to the East Coast, if I'm going to the East Coast, I never go to the East Coast unless I'm going in there like maybe 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once you get past say Pennsylvania and you're going closer to Jersey, traffic is whatever from there, man. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at nighttime, you usually just get a straight run through, especially if you go to New York. Right. You know what I mean? You never want to go to New York in the daytime.
So how often do you go to New York? You go to New York a lot?
I go to New York a lot because like I'm from New York. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. So what my routine is, I'll grab a load from New York, maybe 2-3 loads, run them straight through to maybe say somewhere on the West Coast or the Midwest, right? And then from there, I'll try to see if I can get another one and run it back, right? And I rack up my money like that because like I try not to make no less than maybe say $5,000 a week, right? Anywhere within that range for me, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and I got a good dispatcher that work with me, and like I say, I own the truck outright, so I make my money. Yeah, but to me, it's a stepping stone for me. It's not a career. You know what I mean? So I'm saving. I'm saving to like I'm trying to buy into the laundromats and stuff. You know what I mean? Yes,
and that's what me and Alante and CDL, we talk about that a lot.
Right.
I feel like trucking is a good stepping stone.
It is. It is.
Because you go hard for 5 years, stack your money up. Like you said, you want to buy laundry mats.
Right.
You can put your money in laundry mats, and now you're like, all right, cool. I'm not, if I'm driving, it's because I want to, not because I have to.
Right.
So
trucking to me is like is what nursing is to women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you make the money and a lot of times you're making it on your terms.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just gotta apply a little bit of a little bit of yourself to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
You talked about having a dispatcher. So, we talk about dispatchers and stuff like that. We see people get into the game to be dispatchers.
Right.
They probably don't know the business or anything like that. So you say you got a good dispatcher. So like, what makes your dispatcher good in your eyes?
All right. So I've been with a bunch of different dispatchers, right?
Okay.
But this guy, I don't know whether you know or not, or whether some people that's probably on the line, I don't know. The dispatchers, some of them doing it from other countries.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So I got one in I think Romania.
Okay.
One of them countries he's from. So he's dispatching from over there. But he's the most effective one because anywhere I go, even if the market is fucked up, he can find me a load. And as soon as I drop, he has one ready for me to get because even I drop this load tomorrow, I got another one 30 miles away that I'm gonna run to Jersey. You know what I mean? So every day I make no less than probably $800 to $1,000 and above every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So and you take out your fuel or whatever it is, and I still make my money. So I stick with him. He has his bad days here and there, but for the most part, he's on. Because I tried it myself. I just can't do it, bro. I know my limitations.
Right.
I tried to do the self-dispatching thing. I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just work.
So how long has he been dispatching? Like how long has he been dispatching? How'd you meet him? Like how'd you
so
run into this?
When I had my when I got my MC number and stuff like that, he was one of the guys that kept, you know, calling me. But because they got the foreign accent, I'd rather just fuck with my own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I see when I fuck with my own is like they're doing it as one. They'll give me a load. My truck is still empty. I could take 2, 3 other loads. But once they give me a load, it's kind of like I fulfill my obligation for the day. So you know, they're not really looking no more. But this dude is like, yo, there's one more over here, and you could get this one. How much more space you got? Send me a picture. And you know what I mean? He pulled my truck up.
He filling up the truck.
Yeah,
Marcus,
I'm out here for the money. You know what I mean?
Marcus,
Yeah,
remember we talked about how a lot of foreigners coming over here and they be doing way better than Americans because Americans be like, well, like,
yeah,
it is,
like he said, like, you know, and it's sad, like
he's in Romania, outworking Americans,
bro.
But like he said though, like the American would do it, they would do one load and be like, I'm done.
Right.
But the Romanian cat, like, nah, you got space.
Right.
Let's fill it up. And also too, that's more money for him. You know what I'm saying?
And it be look, you know what it is too? Okay. The thing with our people, we don't know how to conduct business and without leaving our personal feelings out of it. You know what I mean? Like if you're the driver, you're on the road, right? Things might be happening where I'm frustrated. So you might call me and I'm agitated a little bit, right? It's nothing personal. It's not, I don't have nothing against you. I'm just agitated. I'm dealing with a bunch of different shit. Right. And I'm picking up a load. You know what I mean?
Right.
The black dispatchers sometimes will get mad and hang the phone up on me. And I gotta call them back like, yo, it wasn't, you know. With this dude, I never have to explain that. Yeah. If he called and I'm agitated, like, yo, like even just now, I backed up and I bust out my my left tail light. As soon as I see a truck stop, I'm about to pull in and change it. And he was calling me and I was like, bro, hold on, man, I'm getting loaded. And I fucked my tail light up. He's like, all right. Just call me when you're done. Right? Yeah. The black dispatcher, I would have to explain myself, and you know what I mean? They don't know how to separate business from their personal feelings.
Right. You know what I mean? Was it a woman or a man?
It was a woman. Listen, I don't want him to come for your page, bro. So I'm not even gonna frame it like that.
I'm quiet. I don't want no problem.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, we posted that.
No, but you know what it is? Like I say, we as black people in general, when we get into business, we don't know how to separate feelings. Right. You know what I mean? And we will fuck up good business relationship where we're making money from because of feelings, and it wasn't even that. Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Right. When you're dealing with business, bro, everything is not gonna be happy every day. And if a person asks you to give an account of yourself, it don't mean that they don't trust you. Right. It's that we're dealing with business. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and I think we as black people need to understand that. You know what I mean? We gotta separate personal feelings when we're dealing with business. You know what I mean?
You know, business is business, man. Don't take it. What do they say? It's not personal. It's business. That's all it is, man. And I definitely understand that. Like I said, it's crazy. Me and Alante was just talking about this as far as like the difference between the American and the foreigners. Right. The foreigners just work different, bro. Right. They own it. Yeah. Even as truck drivers, they own it. Yeah. Dispatchers, they own it. Like they trying to fill up. I'm not saying all Americans don't want to work, but we talk about this because we said, look, America, the people that's here, this is your competition. Right. Overseas cats is your competition. You got to see how they work, and you got to work just as hard as them, or even harder, because they here getting everything with the trucking job, with the dispatch.
And you know, and look, and you know what too, like, I'm not straying from the subject or nothing, but from my personal reasoning, right, you gotta know where your position at, right, in this world, right? So you have some people, they could, like you're in front of your computer right now. Yeah. You have some people, they have that ability to sit in front of their computer and make $5,000 and they done for the day.
Right.
I don't have that ability.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What I have, my ability is be able to move like a savage out here, right? And get it with these, right?
Right.
So I can't let nobody outwork me out here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially that I'm working for myself. So once
you breaking up. Hold on. Can you hear him, Alante? I can't hear him.
Comfort shouldn't be your biggest concern out here.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you supposed to just go hard. I remember this dude seen me one time, and he was going to the hotel or whatever. And I'm like, bro, oh, you got a truck and you go to the hotel. He said, man, I can't sleep in no truck, man. You bugging. You know what I mean? But then when he says, man, this shit is bullshit, I ain't making it. I'm like, bro, the reason why you ain't making it, if you go to a hotel every fucking night, my nigga, like, you go to a hotel every night, you go sightseeing and all of this shit, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? By the end of the week, you done used up $1,500, $2,000 doing bullshit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not with none of that, bro. I drove through these states so much, and I can't tell you nothing that goes on in these states. Because I'm limited to the truck stop. When I go to the truck stop, I lay up, sleep, you know what I'm saying? Get back on the road, and I'm gone again. You know what I mean?
But that's how
I can't tell you what. Yeah.
That's how it should be. And that's why, and if you do that for 3 to 5 years, you stack up, you're a savage out there making money, you're done. Because now you got your money, you're not blowing it. You got your money, and now you're like, all right, I'm going to put it in this, this, and this, and I don't have to do trucking. And if I do trucking, it's because I want to. If I want to make a quick 1,000 real quick, run this, or quick couple thousand, cool. But you're not married to it. You know, I think, and that's why I look at a lot of truckers, and I look at a lot of owner operators. You married to this because you don't have that mentality of, let me stack up, stack.
Right.
Then let me go ahead and put it in this, because there's some people that like driving trucks. There's a lot.
I enjoy it, but I know the dangers of it too, because your lower back is gonna fuck your lower back up, right? And you're gonna put weight on. Like, for me, like, oh, you see me right now, you probably say, well, you know, you don't look like you got. But compared to how I was, I used to be ripped every day.
Right.
Now I got a belly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And not a belly, you know, like a belly, but my body fat is a little bit higher than what I used to. You know what I mean? You don't get to work out as much. And you look at a truck stop, all the truckers look the same, bro. They got a big belly. They walk like they hunched over a little bit. And it take a toll on your body. So even though I like the adventure of driving to different states, I know I can't keep this up for a whole lot, you know, a whole much more longer.
Right.
Because it take a toll on your health.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah.
I save every fucking penny, bro.
But that's what I say. Like, you know, that's like kind of like the common thing we talking about now. Trucking is not a legacy play. It's a stepping stone. You know, the stepping stone where you want to business.
Where you want to go? Yeah.
You know, you want to pivot into real estate.
Yeah.
You want to pivot into all different things.
Yeah.
Then that's what trucking is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can have that ability to do that, but you gotta work hard. You gotta save your money. Yeah. And you gotta put in the work. Be a soldier, man. Be a soldier for 3 to 5 years. That's why, you know, sometimes I talk to like young truck drivers. I'm like, bro, you 21, 22. Yeah. You can be done with this by 27 if you just work hard. Yeah. Just live in the truck, bro. You don't need no rent. You don't need none of that, bro.
You don't need none of that shit, man.
You live in the truck. You gotta sleep.
And if you wanna treat yourself every now and then, you could go to a hotel for like 2 days or whatever. Yeah. Take a couple of days off. You know what I mean? But you can't do that every night. No. You're gonna be wasting your money. You know what I mean? And like you said, if you're not highly educated, there's no shame in that. If you're not highly educated, you know, you get your CDL and you get on the grind, just know that you can't move the same way how other people move, that their money's coming in faster. You know what I mean? You can't go spending all reckless. You can't go buying everything you see, because then you're going to be doing this shit forever. Right. You know what I mean? You got to grind, put it down, and then you know, you're able to make better financial decisions with your money and set yourself up different but you could get the money out of trucking.
You can get the money. That's the thing,
you can
man.
get the money.
You can get the money, but your work ethic is going to reflect your paycheck. That's what I tell you.
Exactly.
Whatever you put into it, bro, if you only made $1,500 or $1,000, that's your fault.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You didn't put in that work, but like you said, you make $5,000. I want to make $5,000 a week. That's good, bro, because you put it in the. You know what I'm saying? But you got to put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta drive. You gotta move. You can't be. Comfort is the last thing you should be worrying about when you're on that road, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I'll be on the road 24/7. Make sure you got my shit. Follow my. I think I follow you already, but follow me back, and I DM you my number.
Yeah.
Right. You can hit me up. You can hit me up anytime, bro. And we could talk off the air, because like I said, I'm about to buy into the laundromats and stuff. So maybe you got some insight you could tell me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We could talk off the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so just keep me posted. You can hit me up. I could join the live. I'm always on the road. You alright?
All right, brother. I appreciate you.
All right. What's up, brother name, yo? Be safe, bro.
Trucking insurance expert. Nice to meet you, brother. Be safe on that road.
Follow me, and I'm gonna follow you back also.
I will, bro.
Right? All right, bro. All right, bless. All right.
Hey, Alante, I gotta get my charger real quick. Hold on 1 second.
Do your thing, brother. Yeah, they just got me up here. You know, I'm the trucking insurance expert. Y'all got any questions? Y'all want to join in? You know, y'all could join in. You know, we just on live, inviting people in right now. In the office, you know, working hard. Got we trying to make trucking great again, everybody. That's what we doing. When we talk, we lost 2 followers. So, okay, all right.
Oh, cold blooded. Hold on. They gonna come back.
They gonna come back, bro. They always come back, bro. Mm-hmm.
They gonna come back. I'm trying to. Nah, I didn't make it to the office today. I'm about to go check on my trucks real quick. So I was waiting. It's crazy windy out here, so I was trying to wait for it to die down so I go out there.
It's freezing
stupid windy
in here in Atlanta, bro.
For real?
Yes, man.
It was cold here, you know, compared to Cali. It's kind of warming up. It's sunny, but it's hella windy, so I don't want to be out there in my trucks, man. And
what's the weather? What's the temperature?
It done warmed up. It was like 40 something this morning.
Okay,
but it got warmer. Let me see what it is.
Still 40 for LA. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was cold this morning. Yeah, see now it says 53.
Last time, surprisingly, what's about 53 now?
Yeah.
Last time, surprisingly, I was in LA. It had got cold at night. I didn't know it get cold at night like that. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be cold. Like last morning, I went outside to see your breath. I'm like,
yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah.
So I was gonna go to my trucks earlier. I was like, nah, I needed to warm up a little bit. I was like,
bro,
I gotta start my trucks up. I'm gonna pull a couple out and then take some videos and stuff. But I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wait till like it's 10:44, so I wait till like noon, shoot up there and get some stuff going on. But yeah, man, that was cool, man. That was cool. You know, that's what I try to do on this little live, that, you know, to just get people on, man, talk about it. And a lot of people want to talk about it.
That's the spoiled thing about, you know, when you don't drive. I remember driving and having to get up 1 or 2 in the morning. It's brutally cold.
Yeah.
And you got to sit in that truck. You got to wait till the truck warm up. You like,
yeah. You just waiting like, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man, but it was, you know, he made some good valid points. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, man, you got to work hard, and trucking. Like I said, we talk about it. Trucking it's no longer a legacy play. It's more of a, you know, 5 years and see where you at. Stack your money up. Put your money into things, different vehicles. We talk about investments and stuff. And then if you continue, you want to do it, you'll do it because you want to, not because you have to. But I
wanted to ask him something. I wanted to ask him about how, because that's the key. The major part of this is keeping low overhead.
Yeah.
And that equating, and even to this point, having your equipment paid off.
Right.
And that equating to like your, you know, to see it on your balance sheet too, because you ain't got such much truck notes and trailer notes and when your stuff paid, but you got to work to get it paid off, bro. Like you got to wait to get to that point.
Yeah, and like I said, even with me, when I got off those trailers, I saved so much money, bro. Four grand minimum, $4,000 I saved just by not having trailers, and that's not even the maintenance. That's not even the tires. So you save so much money, and that's the thing is really keeping your overhead low. But if you do buy a used truck, you buy it outright. You got to be able to know how to work on that truck. You know what I'm saying? You can't just buy it because then your new enemy is going to be the mechanics. You know what I'm saying? So if you do buy those older trucks, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that, but you still got to be able to work on it and be able to have, know a little bit around that truck. But that comes with experience, you know what I'm saying? But don't, start this industry and then get an old truck, don't know what you're doing. Now you're going to lose, because you can lose as much money on the repairs if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, man. That's good, man. Yeah. If anybody else got any questions, hop on the live, man. Just hop on, man.
Yeah, man. Because I was having a conversation with my friend, man. My at one point my business partner in trucking, he had several trucks on my authority, and I'm like, bro, like people don't even understand or believe what we was doing, or because during COVID, man, like right prior to COVID, like 2019, during COVID, the race was so crazy.
Oh,
It was
ridiculous. That's why a lot of people got into trucking.
And we were already in it. So like I remember just Atlanta Savannah is like a 3-hour drive. Right. And we were getting like 1,100 just about 3 hours. And I would do it, he would do it, and I would get down there and be unloaded. He'd get down there and be unloaded, and then we had a backhaul paying about 900. And fuel was like we put $200 in gas. I mean diesel. Right. So now you're profiting $1,800 in a 24-hour period, and you're home at night. I don't know. I don't know if it's ever gonna be that good again, or
nah. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think everybody think that 2025 is going to be the boom for trucking. I don't see that. I see maybe more of a 2026.
Me too.
I feel like there's still a lot of things that needs to be changed, that needs to be taken care of for it to be better. Do I think it would be COVID numbers? Nah, man. I think COVID was one of those things that it was just a crazy time. So if you were able to capitalize on it, then that's great. But if you couldn't capitalize, yeah, that was tough.
Everybody asks me for stuff I'm on the phone. You would think that, trucking like 2025, it's going to be a slow, gradually growing to trucking, but I think it's going to be like a light switch. I think it's literally going to be like a couple like April, like, oh, it's a decent April. April's good. And then boom, May, like, oh shit, like boom, this popping. Right. And it's gonna spread up open the market. And I really feel like when the switch happened, like seemingly overnight, people gonna forget about the bad times.
Oh, it's always gonna be like that, But the thing is, though, you gotta revitalize trucking to keep people in trucking, to keep people moving this freight. And I just put a post on there as far as just talking about the regulations and how the industry now is, because if you get rid of the small guy and the small guys are leaving, all you got to do is deal with the big guys. Right now, the big guys got lower rates, but if there's nothing but the big guys, now you're going to have higher rates. They're going to be charging whatever they want because you got to deal with them. So I feel like, they should shook the tree a lot last year in 2024. They shook the tree. A lot of people got out of it, or a lot of people just went, just didn't happen. But it's just one of those things that 2025 is going to be a little better, but it's not going to be like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like how it is with like COVID money. I don't ever see that. And then if that something did happen, then I'll be worried. You know what I'm saying? Because then you know that right after a boom, it's going to be a bust.
Yeah.
But people that get into our industry, people that are in our industry have to understand that. So there's nothing wrong with the boom, but just know that that bust is around the corner. So you got to prepare for that. You got to be like, okay, cool, I'm making $2,000 and I'm home every day. Yeah, this shit ain't going to last long. Let me just stack up. Keep my assets, maybe not build, because a lot of people built It was like, oh, this is gonna be like this forever. I'm gonna get 10 trucks. I'm gonna get 20 trucks, and then you lose it all. You know, so with this trucking thing, you got to be very in tune with the future, in tune with the analytics. You got to look at that stuff and understand that things can change, and like you said, it could be a light switch. It could be good one month, and it could be terrible the next month. You know,
absolutely. You know? And see, the thing about it is though, like, you know, most people who get in the industry nowadays are, you know, not even getting to. Most people, the industry is influenced by its new characters. Yeah. So most people who get into it aren't. That's why I said I was kind of convoluted when I say most people. I kind of think all people don't really know the logistics of like how much it requires to win or to be successful, or they don't even understand. Like they just think it's just because I thought the same thing. Oh man, I gave me a truck. Man, I drive 2 hours. I make 600. You feel me? I'm working in the warehouse, bro. I'm in the warehouse. I make $1,000 a week, bro. I make 1,000. So you talking about, bro? You can make $600 in a day. Correct. So I don't think the industry is always influenced by people who don't know nothing.
Well, that's what it was. And I had this conversation with my wife a couple of days ago, and then she was like, you know what? You know, we talk about what I'm trying to do with my business and stuff like that, and I'm just like, and she told me, she was like, you did well. Obviously, you're doing well, and it's solid, and you know, you're thinking about pivoting and all that. She was like, but you didn't know how much money goes out. She was like, if you knew how much money going out, she said, I don't think you would have got into trucking like that because you're more of an investment type of guy. Yeah. I saw trucking as an investment, but you're not just investing like say in a real estate, investment vehicles, life insurance, and investment stocks. You know, you're investing in equipment and you're investing in people. Those are the two hardest things to invest in because those aren't things that's like you can count on. Those are always fluctuating, you know. And then, like I said, like how you said, I'm gonna make $600. You know, you make $600 whatever in a day, and you only make $1,000. So you think I make $600, but really you don't make $600. Really, you're making $200, $150 because you got to pay IRP, IFTA. You know, you still got to put that insurance. You know, all these things. So you probably were making more money doing a warehouse if you really added everything up and took all the you made a little bit more than you made at the warehouse. But you got more responsibilities and more bills. I always say, like, you know, how truckers and trucking companies are treated. They're more like the bottom of the barrel because everybody's making money off of this. Yeah, man. You know, everybody's making money off of the trucker. Everybody's making money off the trucking companies. And you have to understand that. And like I said, you have to get in the game and keep your expenses low. Keep your expenses low. Not so many people are taking money from you. You know, you got your usual insurance, if the IRP, you know, which is like your registration, those is cool. But if you're renting a trailer, you got to pay the trailer rental spot. If you don't know nothing how to fix your truck, you're paying a mechanic. You know, there's a lot of things that's making money off you. DOT, FMCSA, all these people making money off of you. You got to understand that before you get into the industry. But we never say that you can't make money. The money is out there, but you just got to understand how much money you need to save. Or you need to understand how much money you need to allocate to those things. And that's what it is. People get this money and they spend it. As soon as I get $1,000, I'm spending it. Because I know
start living off of
tomorrow I'm going to get another load for $1,000. But you're not thinking like, you know what? I made $1,000. Let me put 500 up. You know, it's hard for people to do that. Let me put 500 up just for all the other shit. I don't even know all my expenses, but let me just put half up off of every load. Just so I know if expenses do come, at least I got this nest egg. Well, so if you do it right, bro, you can really be successful. You can. But if you come in this mind frame, like you said, money coming in and you spending it, you're gonna fail. And that's what happens to the truckers because of no education. They don't know what to do. They just see the money and then they spend it and thinking they're gonna get another load tomorrow. Well, that's trucker.
Also, for like better terms, I've always said trucking is like drug dealing. You get your money quickly, and you get there, and it's hand over fist money. So it's quick and it's enriching. But most people, just like drug dealers, they live off of it. Right. You know, drug dealers do the same thing. They live it. The most live it, blow it. You know, just give it away, blow it on BS. That's the life of the average dope dealer. Right. So I feel like that's kind of would have lured most of us into trucking,
Right.
because the game is so similar, bro.
Right.
It's, and if you're on a larger scale, you move across state lines and all that. It's just a real similar game. So you just get used to the money, you get used to cash flow, and trucking as an investment opportunity is in its strongest position when you don't need the money.
Correct.
When you don't need the money, when you just and you got it over there, bro, it make what it make. It
Right.
made what it made, it just don't have to lose. As long as it don't lose with me to
As long
put
as
in
it
it,
don't
make
lose,
what
it's
it
not
make.
affecting me. But if I'm not depending on it, to feed my family, or if I'm not depending on it to, live my life, then it's better. You good. So if you made 5,000 one month profit, and the other month you made 2,000, one month you made 10,000, that's just gravy. You know what I'm saying? That's just gravy on top of the mashed potatoes. You're not that the mashed potatoes is what you got something else. That's your main. But the trucking is like your gravy.
Most businesses, bro, operate with like a 20%, 15%, some even 30
Yeah.
ROI percent margins.
Right.
Trucking percent margins be like 5 to 10%. So if
Correct.
you make $1 million a year, you probably only 10,000. I'm sorry, 100,000,
100. Yeah.
50,000.
100.
Normally
Yep.
you got 2 or 3 trucks, 4 trucks. Bro, all it takes for like a string of bad events, one motor to go here and there, and now your margins are completely red for the year
Correct.
before. So
And then you
I just
and then you swim it like like we talked about my company. I talked to my wife about my company. Getting off some assets and kind of figuring it out from there. But I talked to my wife. Like I said, I had a $20,000 transmission. Right? Boom. I got to pay for that. And then the driver did something with the trailer. I had to pay for that. And then what tops it all off is now the driver says he got to go to a funeral, or this happened. So we came and have somebody in that vehicle that wants to work to at least try to get that money back. You know what I'm saying? So now you're dealing with that. So we got the money, we lost the money, but now you got somebody in the truck that don't want to work and try to get the money back. So then you're like, okay, then now I'm behind the 8 ball, right? And then now if I got multiple trucks, now this truck got a death issue. That's going to cost me $3,000. Or this truck had, a sensor issue. That's going to cost me a couple grand. So now you're getting hit. And then you're like, all right, I got money. I got my own stash money, but I don't want to keep digging into that to continue to push this business. That's not how it's supposed to be. Your stash money is for other investments that I got, not for trucking. Trucking
You
is
know what
supposed
we need to do, bro?
to sustain
We need to
itself.
come up with a game plan for people.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, because the game should be, I think this is my first step in the game plan. What I would do differently, I would get a cheap paid out truck and I would run it for a year. They say having a certain amount aside to maintain my investment and to keep my situation clear. And as the rest rise, then you can reinvest and get another truck. But if your game plan, and I guess this where people have courses and stuff, but it's just to just start with you. It should start with you in that truck, because eventually the best way, it should be you, that truck, 2 other trucks, and them 2 other trucks just profiting. And your truck, your income, just you take care of you, your
Correct.
bills, your crib, your car,
Correct.
and those trucks just profit.
Correct.
That's how at one point that's how I was. But like everybody else, I got out of the truck. I got people driving for me. They ain't driving right. They ain't moving right. They hitting things. They call it maintenance issues. And then now I gotta do that with the money I'm earning from the truck, rather than the money I'm earning while being in the truck.
Right.
It's different.
So I had a realization when I got back into the truck, and I was driving for like that month before I got sick. I was driving for a month. I got a truck to make more money, and I made a lot more money, right? But then also too, you start to compare yourself to your drivers. I'm working harder than y'all. Y'all should be working harder than me, right? And then you start to look at your drivers a certain type of way. Then you're like, man, I gotta depend on these people when I get out this truck again. I gotta depend on these people. But like I said, at the end of the day, trucking is all about the people that you have. You can control yourself. You can be like, I'm gonna get it. I'm working. That's easy. But then it's hard to control other drivers.
Give me a story about a bad driver you had, and then I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go.
All right. a driver I hired. He was an older cat. He was cool, great personality, everything. But he was just a terrible ass driver. He used to drive for a Chicago company, so he was trying to do illegal stuff. Then he was trying to drive in the middle of the night and then not overslept. One time
he was smoking and driving.
He probably was smoking. Yeah. One time he messed up the truck trying to fix it, but he messed it up. Nobody could fix it. Messed up the truck. Cost me like 4 bands.
Wow.
And then one of my other drivers had to get the trailer. Come to find out, he had a lot lizard in the truck.
Oh.
Talking about that's his girlfriend. And my dude was like, that ain't no girl. That's a lot lizard.
Yeah.
Like, so he was into stuff like that. Probably was doing drugs because you can see on the ELD when they moving or creeping, all of that, moving around to certain spots, be there for like an hour and then go back and then go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like a fiend. You could tell he was fiending, bro, fiending. So I had stuff like that. But real good guy when I spoke to him. You know what I'm saying? He's just cool guy. Good guy. But he was just a fiend, bro. Like he was on that drug stuff for sure, because he would be out all night. He'll be done at 6, but he'll be PCing everywhere. I'm like, stop PCing, bro. So I take the PC off. So then what he started doing was just unplugging. But on my trucks, I got 2 ELDs. I got the not 2 ELD. I got 2 trackers. So I got the ELD tracker, and then I got the what's that tracker that everybody got? LoadedJackal. Okay. I got LoadedJackal. You don't know where LoadedJackal is when they put it. So I see him on the LoadedJackal. The LoadedJackal showing that he going here, he going here, he going here. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? I didn't do nothing. What are you talking about? I didn't go nowhere. Like, bro, I know you went somewhere. No, what you mean? I'm like, bro, the ELD unplugged. I didn't tell him I had another tracker. I'm just like, bro, I know you moved, just lying, being late to deliveries. But he was doing stuff at night, not resting. So then he'll be waking up at noon because he's been doing shit all night, And then one time I had to creep up on him at the truck stop because he was asleep. Probably was high, whatever. I had to creep him on it and take my truck with my boy. I had to take it. We had to pull up on him.
Where's he at?
He was in. He was coming back from Arizona, and I used to start my trucks in like Beaumont. Beaumont is like from Arizona, probably like 4 hours. But when you going from Arizona, you go through like Palm Springs and all that. So he stopped at Palm Springs and was just doing nothing. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? I need you to be over here so I can get these keys, blah, blah, blah. So then he was like, oh, I'm not doing nothing. And then he just stopped answering the phone. So me and my boy had to pull up on him. He was nowhere near the truck. He was like way over there, like far on some crackhead shit. Way over there. And my boy was like, hey, where's he at? And I'm calling him. His phone is still in the truck, but he way over there. Mm-hmm. So I turn the truck on, you see him running out like nowhere. Hey. I'm like, he's like, what you doing here? I'm like, bro, you was supposed to be. I said, bro, take your stuff, bro. Here you go. We out. Mm-hmm. So I had to take the truck and the trailer. I had to take the whole shit. That's why we tell people, get your CDL. Yeah. Yeah. So I had to deal with stuff like, stuff like that. But the sad part is, he was a brother. That's the sad part. That's a sad thing.
That was a brother. I lean over that one.
And I hate to say it, when I started my trucking company, bro, I was like, I'm gonna give brothers a chance. Bro, I know brothers ain't getting no chance. I'm gonna put brothers on. The 3 drivers that I have problems with were brothers.
Every last one I had was a brother. Every last one.
I'm like
I don't know which story to give you. It's so many stories.
I got way more too, but that's just one popped in my head for sure.
I'm gonna get my rocks off with the one that the first come to mind. I had a driver. My boy told me to hire. I hired him. Good dude. I had a local position here in Georgia where you have to drive like 20 miles down the road and 20 miles back up. They was paying $500 to drop. So I don't know if it's like 20 miles, but he stayed from Athens to Lithonia, so it's like an hour drive on the back roads. No DOT, everything sweet. He stayed in Athens, Georgia. So it worked out fine. It was paying $1,000 a day, and I would use like $100 of that fuel.
Right.
And yeah, so and I'm $500. I was paying him $1,300 a week too.
Right.
So I'm profiting around $3,000 a week just off his truck, everything. One time I got a call. His girl called me. His old lady was like, yeah, I already don't know bro name right now. I'm gonna say my cousin named Clyde. They were like, because he looked like this dude named Clyde. They're like, man, you know, Clyde be smoking in the truck, right? I'm like, who is this? You're like, oh, this Clyde girl. You know me. You know what I look like because I was at the interview and you see me in the car. I don't even remember this girl, bro. And she try to flirt with me, try to get my number and stuff, try to sleep with the boss. But that's a whole nother story. I gave him the call. I'm like, bro, look, your girl say you been smoking in the truck. Like, what's going on? Nah, man, don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. And then I want to say I let that slide. About 3-4 months later, I get a call from his new girl. Dude had like 50 girls. He had a lot of girls. He got arrested in the truck because he had a seatbelt on, and they smelled marijuana on him. They didn't find it, but they smelled it. And that was enough for them to arrest him. Plus, he had a warrant. So I had to drive like 4 hours to pick my truck up. Me and my wife had a flip because we had to get our kids out of school. I had to drive up there and I had to bring her so she could drive back, and I had to get my truck. So, and then here's the dumbest thing about it, bro. He got out of jail and stuff, and then we talked on the phone. The dude I ended up letting him pick his truck back up. I was so stupid. I was so stupid.
You was thinking about that $3,000 a week. That's why.
I was thinking about that. At sweet 3 bands, and I'm working from home. I ain't got comfortable, bro.
We gonna figure this out.
What? Hey, bro, you got locked up. I ain't tripping. As long as you ain't get caught with no weed on. But then he picked the truck up, and I smelled the weed on his mouth, bro. I said, damn, bro, you don't respect me enough to not smoke that shit when you pick your truck up. So he ended up still working for me for a while. Yeah. But I had to get rid of him because he kept doing bullshit. But yeah, bro.
What I've learned when you building your business, this business, you already got the big businesses. I just think now, if you are coming up in the trucking industry, and this is how I was able to grow so fast. I had a big contract, and what I did was I just brought on my guys. They already had their own numbers and everything. I just brought them on, but I wasn't responsible because like my guys had companies. So I would just bring them on. I was kind of like a broker. I was like a trucking company / broker, basically what these big companies do. And I just gave them the work. I took 20%. They may have had breakdowns. They may have had issues, but that wasn't my problem. So if I could have done it all over again, I would have just stayed with that model because I was like, man, I see how much y'all make it. What if I had this many trucks? But then you forget to think that now I'm in charge of this many trucks. I got to charge this many people, this much maintenance, this much all of that. So, that's the only thing. I don't want to say I regret, but I've learned is like get you a contract like Sir Jay Williams said. He said the same thing. Oh, I'm going to get owner-operator. They got their own numbers. I'm just going to give them the work, get my percentage, and that's it. Because the liability, like Big Bitchy says, the liability is lower because I don't have to worry about your driver problems. I don't have to worry about your equipment. I don't have to worry about anything. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? And that was great for me. And I just didn't understand it because you see the money. Like you said, you're blinded by the money. Like, man, these dudes making $8-9 grand a truck.
Truck wasn't messing up, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But then I'm like,
profiting $12,000 a month off one truck. I just got to deal with an idiot. I think sometimes
Yeah, so that's the one thing that I'll look back in the industry of what I did. And like you said, people got to have a game plan, and people got to listen to people like, hey, don't be in a rush to get 10 trucks, bro. You can get 1 truck, 2 trucks, because if you got the right relationship with a shipper, the shipper understand. Hey, I want to bring these people on under me, but I'll be responsible for them. But I don't want them being under my company. They understand that.
Yeah, 2 trucks.
Care about
I said, I'm just agreeing with you saying, especially at 2 trucks, because, bro, if you're a drill driver, you drive it every day, you got a contract, and then you add your truck, that's just extra income. Especially if you're first truck. Imagine if you have both paid off.
Right.
Oh man.
Right. So that's the one thing I look back. I'm like, man, if I could have did all over again, I would just instead of just rushing to get so many trucks, maybe get like 1 or 2, but still and then grow my owner operator. But the reason why I couldn't grow the owner operator fast enough was because of funding. We talk about funding. We talk about that. And I didn't, the company I was working with was paying me 30 days, 60 days, and I got to hold that money and pay them. And, owner operators, they want to get paid as soon as they deliver. So, but if I would have had that funding in the middle, I probably would have had 20 to 30 owner operators running that freight, because I would have been like, oh, you delivered, you gave me the paperwork, cool, here's your money, minus my percentage, So that's the one thing I look at. That's the one thing I see that's valuable is the funding, But as I look at back in my industry, like, having a company, you look at that. That's why people that get into this industry, they need to understand and they need to listen to people and have a game plan. What's your game plan? What are you trying to get out of this? What is your end goal? You got to know your end goal before you start. What's your end goal? What are you trying to achieve? How much money are you trying to raise? Are you trying to do this? What are you trying to do in trucking? Because trucking can help you do a lot of things.
It really can.
You just got to know what you want to do. Once you know what you're trying to do from trucking, then now you can plan and have that roadmap and say, okay, I'm there. But a lot of people get in trucking is just try to make a little bit of money or try to hit a lick, but you don't got no end goal. You got to have an end goal with this industry.
You got to understand your threshold.
You got to understand your threshold, and you got to have it. What's your end goal? What are you trying to achieve, and how fast are you trying to achieve it? Right? Or
don't let the money blind you.
Yeah, don't let the money blind you. Oh, I'm trying to get real estate. I'm trying to start getting into that, but I need to have my seed money and my money for that, or have a consistent check coming in so I can get real estate. Okay, cool. Then this is how you do that. And maybe we should come up with that. We should come up with like roadmaps. Use trucking.
Damn, that's a good question.
Use trucking for real estate. Use trucking for
that's what it's best for.
Buying laundromats. Use trucking for starting in insurance. Like maybe we should come up with different things on how you can use trucking for that. That's a great ass idea.
Nobody is doing that because additionally, what we're doing, we're just taking simple things and simplifying it further. All you need, because everybody is there's money in trucking. It is if you do it. If you got a truck paid off for low value, and you make $5,000 a week, and you make $3,000 profit, there's money in it, and you duplicate yourself. Now, when you duplicate 4 or 5 times, your expense goes up. But one more truck, I talked to my buddy this month. I said, that's my regret. So I should have just. My only regret when we scaled that fast, I said, bro, with me and you, and I had my truck, I should stay there. You should have added one more truck. We shouldn't have got 3 trucks apiece and 7 trucks. We shouldn't have did all that, bro. Like we were making so much money. Me and him were bringing home about $4,000 from
or just bring on owner operators. You just bring on owner operators, and then you pay them, and you take in the percentages. So if the work dry up, you're not left with all these trucks. All right, man, the work dried up. We're going to do something else. But if I find something else, I'm going to put you on.
The thing about owner operators, it works if you only add 1 or 2. But if you scale in your first year as an owner operator, insurance is going to hit you. Especially progressive.
What I'm saying is, like kind of how I did. Like you got your 1 or 2 trucks, right? You got your 1 or 2 trucks. You need to get a bond contract. You talk to the shipper. Hey, I'm going to bring on owner operators, but they're going to have their own numbers, but they under me. You know what I'm saying? And then you just get the percentage, but they got their own numbers, their own insurance, they got their own, everything is theirs. Because that's what I did with my big contract. I talked to the shipper. I said, look, I can't afford to bring them on my company, on my insurance and all. I can't afford it. This is what I can do. I trust them. I know them. Here's their numbers, everything. Because they was like, we don't want to work with all these trucking companies. We just want to work with you, So that's your response. Okay. You can bring them on. We'll give them the okay. We know their company, everything, but we don't want to talk to them. We just want to talk to you because you know our processes. But that's what I was saying. Just bring on owner operator. They got their own numbers and say, look, I got this work for the next 2-3 months. And then now after that, bro, if it dry up, now you got to go into something else. Less liability, bro. That's the best way to do it. But that's the thing is, though, that's what those big trucking companies do.
For sure, bro. For sure. And once again, upon Parliament roadmaps, under the roadmap section, that's an option. Like I think that in business, there needs to be subcategories. Like if you're gonna do a cafe, what kind of cafe you gonna do? You're gonna do new coffee, old coffee, Arabian coffee. Same thing with trucking. If you're gonna do trucking, obviously there's categories of freight, but how are you going to grow your business? It determines how long you last. If you grow it too fast and you grow it too or in the wrong area where you're not educated in, You know, I just feel like you're not positioning yourself for the math returns. The
Right.
best way is no, without a doubt, especially for somebody who's hungry, coming from a warehouse job, get your CDLs, bro. You know, build your little company up over a year. Like my man said, grind, get your second
Right.
truck, and then if you want to go add an owner operator and you can understand your margins, the only downside of adding owner operators is that they might not care as much as you do.
Right.
And when you got, and well, hell, drivers don't care as much as you do. At least you got
I'll
a
take
little
a
control
I'll
over
take an
drivers.
owner operator over a company driver any day because
True.
the owner operator got equipment. Owner operator got bills, so they may not they gonna care more than a company driver because the company driver is like I get paid regardless, but the owner operator that got their
Yeah.
own stuff, they care, bro, because they looking at you like you the savior because you giving me this work.
Hmm.
Why would I mess this up? Especially if
Yeah.
it's good work. You know, like when I have my guys, bro, man, it was crazy, bro.
Mhm.
They be like, "Oh, what else we got? What else we got?
Mhm.
What else we got?" They like it's like they a fiend because you got the drug. I got consistent freight that you ain't got to worry about. You ain't got to get freight from nowhere else. You just getting it from me, one person. Man, what else you got? Yeah, my truck gonna be here. Oh, I got some. Yeah, I got. Yeah, we're gonna do all of that. So that's what I look at. I look at it like I'll take an owner operator that got his own equipment over a company driver any day. I'd rather give an owner operator the work than me getting a truck and getting a company driver
Yeah.
any day. Any day, bro.
100%. I can agree with that. I just in my little time period, you know, I've came across some bad owner operators. I had some.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Oh yeah,
I
it's gonna be for sure.
I've had somebody at least to me, and it was my fault. So I wasn't collecting insurance the way I was supposed to, and they
Mm-hmm.
left abruptly, and they left me with an insurance bill. I think that's important too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You need to be taking out your money if you're gonna do it. You need to have a clear, concise contract if you're gonna do business with owner ops, saying of what your monthly and weekly deductions I'm settling. Because I wasn't paying these, I was paying these dues, but I wasn't taking out my insurance. So they say they went up over time, and they got some new insurance and new authority and left.
So
And
I had one buddy leased on to me. I
mhm.
only had one. He's a good buddy of mine, or he was a good buddy of mine. I ain't heard from him ever since, you know. But anyway, he was leased on to me, and what I did was I took the insurance out the first week, whole insurance. Hey
Mhm.
man, yeah, bro, I don't play.
Yeah,
I don't play. I
word.
need the whole insurance. If your insurance 15, bro, and you work, I need the whole 15.
Yep, yep.
But once you take it weekly, nah, bro, I ain't got time for that.
Nope,
I need the whole
nope.
insurance, all my fees. I need that off. I need that the first week, and I had that in the contract. All
Yep.
my fees, I need that the first week. So the first week you might be working for free, but the next 3 weeks, there you go. Because you know how it is, bro. Oh man, can you do the payment next week? Nah, bro, I need all that the first week. I
Yep.
need all of that. All of that.
And that's the and that's the con to it, because the con to it is the pro is obviously you're dealing with some, you know, owner op, but the con is that you're dealing with owner op. You know, they have their own mind, they have their own units, they kind of move their own circle. So, ooh, you know, I just want whoever. There's no left or right. I mean, it's just
You're
whatever.
gonna have problems either
It's whatever you want.
You're gonna have problems either way, but
Yeah.
I'd rather have problems where it don't really affect me. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Like an owner operator, if he got his own equipment, even if he's leased on to you, okay, you just got to make sure that the money and all that stuff. But I ain't got to worry about his equipment. I ain't got to pay for none of that. If he got his own numbers, like I have my situations, I ain't got to worry about your IFTAs. I ain't got to worry about none of that stuff.
You
If he
breaking
got,
down, no
you know,
toes.
you got the work, get the work, and that's it. I don't have to worry about nothing else that you got. When you got a company driver, he's a company driver. So now you got to worry about the insurance, you got to worry about the breakdowns, you got to worry about the trailer, you got to worry about all these things, and making money, and paying the driver, and getting fuel, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So now you like, no, I think an owner operator any day. So
Yeah, I get that.
I'd rather just get to work with my 2 trucks, build up a relationship with the shipper, and then owner op it. I would have, with my last contract that I had with this big company, I could have had 30 trucks if I had the funding. I could have had 30 owner operators. I could have probably ran the whole West Coast or East
Hmm.
Coast. I could have ran it crazy if I had the funding. That was the only thing keeping me back. Only thing. Because people was coming up to me like, oh man, I want to do that, man. Yeah, I can do that. Well, when I get paid, oh, you gotta wait like 30 days. Yeah, I can't do that. I already know. I already know the answer to that.
It's
I already know.
it's weird because God is going to lead you to that funding issue that we talked about.
Yep.
I'm not going to go to Deborah about it online,
For
but God
sure.
is going to lead you to a
For
solution.
sure.
And then it's going to be like, damn, I could have had it then, but thank God I got it now. It's way better.
Right. You learn from experience,
Yep.
right? And you see the issues in our
Mhm.
industry, and then you're like, well, I can solve that problem. Let me just solve that problem. Let me be that guy. Why not? That's way better. But yeah, to have a trucking company, you can definitely do it. If you're an owner operator, you can be very successful in this industry. You just got to have the knowledge. You got to
Yep.
be good. You got to be good with your money, and you got to have a plan. What's the plan? What is your plan for being an owner operator and driving that truck? What is your end goal? You got to have a goal so you can work towards it, so you don't feel like you're just working just to be working.
Roadmaps, bro.
You got to have a roadmap.
Roadmaps and
Right,
checkpoints. Mm-hmm.
right. If
Along
you
the checkpoint, have your credit up to par early on. Have your Dun and Brad, and it's crazy because we're putting this together online. But imagine a map and then checkpoints along the map. Do you have
right,
this? And then at a certain checkpoint, you should have all these things to when you get there, you can elevate.
you can do a roadmap from a truck driver to an owner operator. That's a roadmap
Mm-hmm.
in itself. You want to be an owner operator? That's your end goal. I want to be an owner operator. All right. How do I get from a trucker to owner operator? It's the roadmap. That's what you got to do. Follow the roadmap. If you follow the
Three
road,
ways: buy a truck cash, finance a truck, or do lease purchase. And then you
correct.
have a map to each one, how it ends, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And you just figure that out, and then you see, okay, maybe I don't want to do all of that.
yep.
You know what I'm saying? All right, so I want to be a truck driver and drive for a company for 5 years and buy real estate. Okay, this is what you got to do. Boom,
Mm-hmm.
boom, 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 boom. I want to, or like, oh boy, I want to be an owner operator. Now you became an owner operator. Now I want to own laundromats.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're owner operator. How do you go from owner operator to owner laundromats and not having to drive? How do you go from owner operator to owning real estate?
Mm-hmm.
How do you go from owner operator to building up your life insurance to where you can retire and live off your life insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many roadmaps that you can go. That's why, trucking is good if you got to go. If you got to go in trucking, bro, it's a really good thing. It's a really good thing. And to be honest, you don't have to have a huge company. Because like I said, you're going to work harder for your own company than anybody else that's a part of it. That's the truth.
Bro.
So
Bro.
go hard for your own company. Go hard and be an owner operator for your own company. If that's what you want to do. Go hard because you're going to go harder than anybody. You're going to save money more than anybody. You're not going to be bougie. You're going to be, stacking up because you got a goal. My goal is, like he says, to get laundromats. So why would I go to the hotel every day when that's costing me $800 to $1,000 a week when I can save that and put that to buying laundromats?
Bro,
you got to go.
I was just talking this morning with my buddy, man. I got to get him on the live one morning. We were talking about how important it is just to be. He said that he think that every truck driver should be somewhat mechanically inclined. I'm not mechanically inclined at all. I can put some stuff together. I can do it if I have to, but
Right.
bro, and then it makes sense because if you think about it, he was like, man, all like majority of trucking problems, like mechanical wise, always start small and go into something big. He'll like, that's why every Sunday and Saturday this dude would work on his trucks and look at his truck. He would do that every day he got home. But he got land and yards, so it's different out here in the South. You can park your truck, pop the hood, let your goats and chickens run around, work on the truck,
Right.
And but he never had breakdowns on the side of the road. And if he did, he got his toolbox and hoses and clamps and belts to
All
put
of
in the
that.
truck.
Yeah.
And the brake caliper in the truck. And I'm gonna give y'all a free one. This is something you can make a video about, Marcus. Because you touched about this. Everybody should have a spare tire.
Mm-hmm. You should.
You should have one spare tire. First of all, you can get a used one for a good place, and on top of that, if you have a pop, you want to pop and say, hey, the tire guy, what if he don't got your size? And yeah, you got way longer, but you man, gonna come out here, man, pop the tire on you, save money, save time, and with that, you know what you got.
Exactly.
You should have your own tire, bro. A used tire don't cost but $200, $300, bro.
Man, used tire costs cheaper than that.
Yeah,
Some
you feel
spots
me?
I got, they throw you one for $100.
Really?
Or yeah, man, I got a tire shop out here.
That's sweet, bro.
Cool. You know what I'm saying? I just throw an extra tire on there, or you can, when we had trailers,
Mm-hmm.
You usually have a spot underneath the trailer where you can put an extra 1 or 2 tires.
That's it, bro. Why?
So I tell my guy, like, hey, bro, just put some tires. I got some little bit of meat on there,
That's
bro,
it.
just in case the trailer go down, or just in case, you know, one of the tires go down the dries. We got tires right there.
I don't care if it's and it's gonna sound crazy. I don't care if it's an old tire because you know if you because what you want to know is that if something happens, it pops. Well, and hold on, let me rewind. In theory, when you go to get a set of new tires, some of them supposed to be still good. If you get a set, you're supposed to get a set every few years.
Bro, if I get new tires, like sometimes like my shop, they'll recognize, oh, hey man, you probably should change this one, this one. I'm like, all right, cool. But I say, is it good enough to put on if something happens? Yeah, all right, we keep those.
For sure.
All the ones that you said is still good, we keeping those, or keep them at the shop for me. So if I need to come, that's when I had trailer. That's how I started saving money on trailer tires. Was I would have my trucks go over there, have them check the trailer tires, and they'll swap them out, right? They'll charge me like $40 to swap it out. But I'll just be like, yeah, you never throw away tires, bro. If you got tires to you know, keep, then definitely do that, you know. But those are things you need to learn. Is, you know, I was gonna make a video on like the things you need when you own a truck. Like you got to make sure you have a good mechanic. You got to make sure you got a good tire spot. You got to make sure you got, you know, that a good mobile mechanic. You know, there's a lot of things that you need to have. You got, you know, one of the biggest things that people don't understand, especially out here in California, you got a truck. You get a truck. Where are you gonna park it? You know, we're not like the South where y'all can park it at the house.
Yep.
There's a lot of places in Cali where you can park the truck in front of your house without getting a ticket. You know, so there's a lot of things you got to think about when you got this truck. But once you start, you know, you get new trucks, bro, or you get trucks, you're gonna go through 10 mechanics before you find that right one. For sure. That's just a part of the business.
That's part of the business, bro. And that's, you know, I think that's something. I just think that's something to be considered, like upon roadmaps, mechanics, person who can do your. I didn't do my own if then tags. Do you?
Yes, because it's so easy in Wyoming. In California, I didn't. I had a service, but then I started to find out that service was charging me stupid money on top of what I needed.
What?
Yeah, and I made a video about that a long time ago. Like they was adding crazy stuff, and then they was supposed to help me with my heavy vehicle use tax. They didn't tell me about it, and then they was like, oh yeah, we can do it. They tried to charge me an obscene amount, and I did it online, and it was like 75% less than what they were trying to charge me. So watching out for stuff like that too, you know. It's like I said, there's a lot of people profiting off this business, man, and there's a lot of people when you don't have the education, man. That was the first time I heard about heavy vehicle use tax. I'm like, what is this? You know, I just had to pay that. That was like $2,500 because I got 5 trucks. That's another thing. When you got more trucks, those fees go up. That vehicle use goes up. UCR goes up. Like all these things.
Why do they do this?
All this stuff goes up, bro. You just like, what the? You know what I'm saying? Like, golly, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just that there's a lot of outside factors, man. You just got to having those roadmaps, like you said, having something that you can look at and having a goal. I think that's the biggest thing probably from this conversation is you can get into trucking and make money. Trucking is not a long-time job. It's not a 20-year career. But you can do trucking for 5 years and set yourself up for the rest of your life. If you go hard, work hard, and invest your money and put it in things, and you got a goal. So many people.
At least you can change your position in life.
Yeah.
At the least.
Change your position, be comfortable where you want to do something else. But trucking is not a thing where it's going to be, you do this for 10, 20 years, you're going to be a millionaire. Not off of trucking. You're going to be a millionaire off the things you use the trucking money for. And there's nothing wrong with that. But trucking is more of a stepping stone than it is a career now. That's what it is. You know?
Well, yeah, man, when you got on live today, I had to jump in because I was like, should I text, bro? I said, I don't know if I should text, bro, because I'm in my office today. I probably won't be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the office tomorrow. I was like I said, I'm waiting for it to get a little better out here, and I'm gonna go check on my trucks, and then I'm trying to get another spot so I can have my other driver return my trucks, and then I'm gonna start putting a couple of trucks up for sale.
Yeah, I'm spoiled, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Like this morning it was like 20 degrees, and I got up at 4, and I'm like, I got the gym stuff on. I'm about to go to the gym. Man, I go outside. It felt like 4 degrees. I said, wow. I said, okay.
Back in the covers.
I went back in the house. I did some work.
Yeah, that's what I told my wife, because she was like, "So you gonna start back driving again?" I was like, "Nah, I'm too used to this now." You know what I'm saying? I'm used to getting up, on the computer, taking my kids to school. Like you get used to that again, and being in the office and working on the computer, stacking up everything and working on everything else outside of the business, and figuring out what you're gonna do with the business. But yeah, man, trucking is always gonna be around, man, and people can make a lot of money, man, but in a short period of time, and put that money into other things, and you straight, you definitely locked in, But yeah, man, I just got on the live, man. Like I said, because I had a good live yesterday, had a couple of people ask some questions and stuff like that. But it was cool to have the LoadedJackal. I'll have to save him. It was cool to have him on a live and have him, just talking to people, man. That's just what it's about.